Okay guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about what to do if you get a bad night of sleep, how to go about it. And this is something to think not only throughout your day when you got bad sleep, but also if you can't sleep at night or you've gone to bed late and you know you're going to be tired in the morning, how to kind of reassure yourself that it's going to be okay. Because how you to reassure yourself that you're still going to make the most of the day, and how to make the most of the day. So this is it, guys. What you want to do, I think, is a big thing to realise when that alarm goes off at 8 o'clock or whatever time, and your head's sort of ringing, and you've got a headache, and you haven't slept well, and you're just like, fuck this, I haven't even got out of bed yet, and I'm already just really tired. I feel horrendous. How am I going to live the whole day? How am I going to spend the whole rest of the day like this? When you have that feeling, the thing you've got to remember really is how you feel right now in bed and tired will wane as you go about your day. So how it happens for me, and this might be different for other people, but for me, when I've got a bad night of sleep, it's the first few hours, it's the morning hours, where it's really bad, where you just feel shit. And by the afternoon, your performance is still as bad as it was in the morning. You're probably not focusing as much. But by the afternoon, you're that sort of feeling, it's almost like you're ill, right? That sort of feeling of being sort of ill that you feel when you're waking up and you're tired. By the afternoon, that kind of transfers from feeling shit to just feeling sort of sleepy again, which is a much nicer feeling. And that increases as you go to the evening. So one thing that I like to do if I've got a bad night of sleep is just to think, instead of thinking, oh fuck, I've got to get through the whole day like this, think, actually, I've probably only got to get through the whole morning like this. Because once the morning's over, it'll be getting towards the end of the day anyway, like, okay, the afternoon, maybe I'll have perked up a bit. I still won't be on top form, but it won't be as bad. And then after 5 o'clock, it's already, time to get ready for bed anyway. Well, it's not, but you know what I mean, like, it doesn't matter after a certain point. It only really matters in the morning. And as you get, and the other thing to think is, as you get sleepier, you'll be more sleepy in the evening, right? So actually, it'll be quite a nice thing to go sleep that night. So what I'm guessing at is the only bad thing about going to sleep, about getting a bad night's sleep really, is the initial hours. And once you get over that, it's not too bad. So that's something to remind yourself when you wake up in the morning. And that can be a good way, and especially at night as well, you tell yourself that. The other thing I'd say is caffeinate, but be careful about it. So I think if you've got a bad night of sleep, another thing that can really sort of sweeten the pill, if you will, of getting bad sleep, is the option to have a cup of coffee. Or, if you already do drink coffee, which obviously most people do, you have slightly more coffee to compensate slightly more for your tiredness. And I don't actually think this is a bad thing. I actually think it's a good thing to do, because it just it just helps you, it sweetens the pill. And that's really, like what I was saying earlier, that's really what you want to do here, is just sweeten the pill as much as possible. So I think, by all means do it, but you want to be quite strict about cut-off point. I've got videos about how exactly to caffeinate and what works best for me. Obviously you've got to work out for yourself, but I think what I would do is increase the volume rather than the duration. So what I mean by that is, I think it would be better to have 2 cups of coffee, in the morning, about 9 o'clock, rather than 1 cup of coffee at 9 and then one at 1 o'clock to get you through the afternoon. The reason I say that is because you've been given a fantastic opportunity to sleep really well the following night by getting a bad night's sleep. And you don't want to ruin that by then caffeinating at 1 o'clock and by 7, half-life and stuff. Obviously it depends what time you're going to bed, but basically if you have it past midday, much of the benefit you're going to have of being tired that evening from such a tiring day where you haven't slept the night before, a lot of that tiredness is going to completely go because you're going to be caffeinated still by the time you go to bed, and you might not feel it. You might go to sleep fine, but your sleep quality will be worse. So that's the next thing I recommend is increase the dosage rather than the duration. It works for me anyway. Yeah, there you go, guys. That's my 2 ways that I deal with bad sleep. I think this stuff's quite helpful because if you can reassure yourself of these things, and you've got methods to mitigate bad sleep, then it actually will. If you're doing this on the night, you can't sleep. If it's 2 a.m. and you're still tossing and turning, you can just think to yourself all these things that I've told you about how to mitigate the effects of bad sleep, and you just think, oh great, it doesn't matter. I'll have a strategy to deal with it. I've only got to get through the morning. I can just have a bit more coffee in the morning, and then by the evening I'll actually be really tired, and I'll have a fantastic night's sleep tomorrow night. And that often reassures you very well, so you can get to sleep much easier, and then you don't even need these tips in the first place. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's my thoughts on how to mitigate a night of bad sleep, and I'll see you guys soon.